Incoterms? Definitely. There are various Incoterms. These are used in international trade finance, and these are of very much importance for CIB also as well as in banking also. Okay. So watch the video till the end. Also, what do we do in this champion series? Champion series, we give a complete information or complete knowledge of this CIB program. Okay. So ABM we have already completed important points. Now we are going on with BFM. Okay. So before that, what I would always suggest, download this Adda 24/7 app. Also join our officers Adda 24/7 channel. On this app, you'll get various study materials plus live video lectures plus classes. Everything you'll get it in one go. Okay. So don't go anywhere. Directly download this. Okay. Also, the most attempted test series. Here we are at the end now. Roughly June you will be having this exam. So when we are at the end, so definitely go for the for this test series for testing your knowledge. Use this code Y432S. Okay, and you'll get discounts over there. Now coming back to the topic of Incoterms. Okay, in Incoterms, what is basically an Incoterm? Incoterm means the transfer of risk. Means, for I'll give you a simple term for Incoterm. Suppose me and you are doing some business. I have to sell certain goods, let's say a refrigerator. Okay, I am the shopkeeper, you are the purchaser. I have to sell the refrigerator. So if I say that okay, this refrigerator you take it from my shop, immediately after that shop, whatever that cost is, it's yours. Okay, so that's one Incoterm. Here the risk of that refrigerator is up to what? Only up to my doorstep. After that doorstep of my shop, if anything happens to the refrigerator, it's your call. Okay, that is point number one. Suppose if I tell you I'll provide you doorstep service, like we have in that Amazon and everything, right? Doorstep service means the refrigerator will reach at your door, and up to that time the risk is mine. So that is another Incoterm. See, these two Incoterms just now I gave you. One is XWorks and second is this DDP. Okay. Now when I tell you that the refrigerator will be sold at my shop only, and from here you have to carry on with your own carting, everything, your own transportation, that is known as XWorks. Okay. So now similarly all the other Incoterms are defined. Here it's always the risk. Here the risk is up of the seller is up to his doorstep only, and remaining everything else is the risk of this buyer. Okay. Now this is point number one. Suppose if the seller tells that okay, I'll put the goods on the ship. See here, how does any international trade happen? Here is the seller's company factory. Here is the buyer's factory. Okay. Both deal with each other, and now the goods are to be sent from the seller to the buyer, of course after making the payment. So how to send the goods? Suppose if the seller will send it first through truck up to the ship, from the ship to the port of this buyer's country. Here generally it's international trade, right? This, let's say it's India, exporter and importer is USA. Okay, so generally this is international trade. I'll mark the bigger cursor. Okay, hold on. Yeah, see, this is generally the international trade. This is in India, this is in USA. Now how will the goods reach from India to USA? One via truck up to the ship, from ship to USA port, from USA port it will go to the buyer's counters. Okay, or buyer's factory. Now important part over here is, if I say that I will sell only up to my doorstep, then everything else will have to be carried by the buyer, right? So that becomes one Incoterm, that is known as XWorks. If I say I'll load those goods on the ship, then it's called as FOB, free on board. Okay, so what does happen in FOBs here? Why am I taking only FOB? Why not others over here? Because in exam the important Incoterms for you are XWorks, FOB, CIF and DDP. Okay, these are the four main important Incoterms. I'll take each one over here but give you in short. Okay, so if I tell that I'll load it on the ship, then it's called as FOB, free on board. The goods are loaded. The responsibility of loading the goods is also on the seller. Now after loading, if the ship sinks here itself, in the port itself it sinks, then also the responsibility is not of the seller. The responsibility goes to the buyer over here. Okay, now if I say FAS, means what? I'll bring the goods and put it alongside the ship. I want to load these goods. I'll put it over here. Now it's your responsibility to take the goods from here and load it. So that is called as FAS, free alongside ship. Similarly, we call it CFR, cost and freight. Means what? I'll say that okay, I'll load the goods on the ship, also buy the transportation charges, means bear these transportation charges. I'll say a simple word, I'll call this ticket of the ship or BL of that ship, right? So I'll buy this ticket, the cost is mine, so it's called as CFR. Now if while going from here to here, if the ship sinks, then whose responsibility is? If I am in CFR, then it's the responsibility of the buyer. The insurance is to be brought by the buyer. So if it is CIF, CIF means what? Cost, insurance and freight. Here in CIF, what happens? Even if this ship sinks and my goods are damaged, then also the insurance company pays. So this responsibility is of the seller if it's in CIF, cost, insurance and freight. Okay, so understand one basic difference. CFR, the responsibility of the insurance is on the buyer side. CIF, it's on the seller side. Okay, so these are the main Incoterms for shipping. Ship. Now if it is going by truck, then only direct truck from here to, let's say the goods are to be transported from India to Nepal. Why ship is required? So Nepal, it is called as, instead of here we had this FOB over here. So for truck it is called as FCA, free carrier. FCA and FOB are same. FOB is for ship and FCA is for truck. Okay, if the goods are to be loaded on truck, then what happens? One is FCA, only loading on that truck. Now what happens to that truck later is not my concern. Okay, similar to that of the ship, FOB. Second is CPT, cost and this transportation paid. Transportation means what? I load the goods and buy the ticket of this truck, charges of these trucks. Okay, so here again it is similar to CFR. Here also, if I bear CPT, then also if something accident happens to this truck, that is not the responsibility of the seller, that is the responsibility of the buyer. Okay, in CPT. If I buy CIP, then CIP means similar to CIF, cost, insurance and freight, but here it's not freight, it's charges, truck charges. Okay, CIP. So if some accident happens to the truck in between, the goods are damaged, then the insurance is to be borne by me only, seller. Okay, got this point? Next is DAP, delivery at said place. Place means what? The buyer will tell the seller, okay, what you do, you bring the goods via ship or via truck, and this is the place, this is my container yard, this is my something, some place, this is my godown, put the goods in those godown. Okay, so that is called as DAP. Okay, in DAP the truck comes to his godown and the responsibility gets over. Again DAP has two terms, DAP unloaded and DAP loaded. Okay, unloaded means the goods would be unloaded in that place whichever is said by this buyer. Okay, so that is DAP, customs unpaid. See here again it's over here, customs unpaid means delivery, this delivery at place and customs unpaid. This custom is to be borne by the buyer. Okay, now next is DDP. DDP means everything included by the seller only. Delivery, duty paid, all this cost, this customs house payment over here. Two customs house would be required to be paid. One is at the exporter's end, second is at the importer's end. Then the this ship cost, whatever that freight is, insurance, bringing the goods from here to here along to his factory, that is DDP, delivery duty paid. Okay, that is known as DDP. DDP means everything is borne by the seller. So got is important Incoterms. Remember, type yes if you have got this. If you have not, revise this video again, because these Incoterms roughly 3 to 4 are asked to you in exam, and I'll also give you roughly here X-Works, FOB, CIF and DDP. These are the main ones always asked. Okay, what is DAP? Delivery at place. Same thing, DAP over here, DAP over here. This is via ship and this is via truck. The remaining things same over here. Okay, so I prepared a chart also over here. So this I'll show you the chart later. So this is the theory part. Let's come to this Incoterms. X-Works. Now everyone might be knowing X-Works. X-Works means what? At my place, seller's place. Okay, CFR, cost and freight. CIF, cost, insurance and freight. Okay, so it's always mentioned like this. CIF, JNPT, Chennai. or CIF Chennai means what? Cost, insurance and freight at Chennai. Okay. CPT, carriage paid to, this is for the truck generally. CIP, this is for the truck. Truck means not only truck, any route other than the ship. Okay. It means it can be airways also. CPT can also be used for airways. But remember, CIF, CFR and FOB are used only for ship. Main carriage unpaid means FCA, FAS and FOB. FCA means free carrier in case of truck. FAS, free alongside ship, means it will be placed alongside the ship but not loaded on that ship. FOB, free on board, it will be loaded on that ship. Arrival. DDU and DDP. DDU is gone now. Incoterms 2020 don't understand DDU now. Okay, so DDU is gone. Remember this, DDU is gone. Now it's DDP only. DDP and DAP. DAP, delivery at place. Just now I explained you over here. DAP is this one. Okay. So DAP and DDP, these are the two Incoterms in this 2020 now. Okay. So got this point, everyone? You have to remember these names. Number one. Number two, you have to remember this figure. Okay. This will give you the correct idea of what the Incoterms are. Okay. So before going ahead, see here, this is a chart which I have prepared for all of you. Just go through this chart later. Here all the responsibilities are given. FAS, FOB, I'll give you one example. Okay. In FOB. Why FOB? Because FOB is of much importance in India. Free on board. Okay. So here packaging is done by the seller, loading is done by the seller, delivery at place here. Look over here. Delivery to port is done by the seller. Then export duty, taxes at exporter side is done by the seller. Original terminal charges by the seller. Loading of on the carriage is done by the seller. Now look at the buyer's part. Carriage charges are to be borne by the buyer, means freight. Okay. Insurance, it is borne by the buyer. Okay. Destination terminal charges means this importer side, those are again borne by the buyer. Delivery to the destination, buyer means here only up to loading it's borne by the seller. Okay, I'll go for Xworks also because I'll cover 2-3 main Incoterms over here. In Xworks, export packaging is done by the seller. Loading charges in the truck at the seller's godown over here. See here I am just putting it outside my gate and loading it from here to the truck is done by the buyer. Okay, so best for seller is always Xworks. Best for this buyer is always DDP. Okay, only one responsibility on buyer in DDP. Okay, so in seller Xworks only seller does packaging and just keeps it outside this gate, and everything else will be borne by the buyer. Okay, CFR done. CIF, okay, this is also important. Same as CFR. See this, seller, everything is by the seller. Only what? Insurance. Insurance is by the seller in CIF, whereas in CFR it is by the buyer. See here, remaining everything is same as between CIF and CFR. Okay. Then what is DDP? This will take it. Okay, DDP. Seller, everything by the seller. Look at this. Everything is by the seller. Only buyer does what? Unloading at destination. When the truck is received at his end, unloading is done by the buyer. Okay. Got this point, everyone? So now we'll go for next objective question. Before that, remember our crash course selection batch is starting on June 6th. Go for that batch. This is just one example which I am showing. If you come to the live class, you will see thousands of examples like this. Okay. So what do we teach in this? 35 plus hours of ABM, BFM, mocks and ebooks, last minute preparation, recorded videos, all numericals are solved, case studies are solved. How many case studies do you have in ABM, BFM? Do you know? You have 12 case studies, each of 5 marks. Now 12 by the 60, that is the difference between passing and failing. Okay. You clear case studies, you are through in CAIIB. Okay. So we'll cover all the important case studies over there, whichever comes in the exam, plus the single liner objectives, whichever are repeated in the exam. So go for it. I'll tell you at the end how to go for this this discount part. Okay. So let's move on. Incoterms. Minimum obligation of the seller is represented on which term of shipment under ICC? Now this should be easy for you. Type A, B, C or D. Which one? Which obligation for seller, minimum obligation for seller is where? Just now we saw it. Okay, we'll go one by one again. See this. Which is the minimum obligation for seller? This X works. So go for it. Let me see if there is an option of X works. Yes, there is an option. See this X works. So this is the right answer. Now first one I have answered. From second one onwards, you will have to answer. Okay, of course I'll show you the answer at the end. FAS, free alongside ship, and FOB are rules for which kind of transport? Which kind means they are used where? Any kind, sea, land or air. Inland waterways and seaport, sea transport, railway and air. Now type A, B, C or D. Which one? I'll wait over here. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds because easy one. A, B, C or D. FAS and FOB are used for? Yes, everyone is typing correctly now. Answer is? Yes, come on, fast. Yes, answer is correct. B. Okay, because these are only used for ships. Okay, look at this part. Main carriage paid, FAS, FOB. See here, shipment. Okay, shipment alongside ship on board. These are used, and for truck it is FCA, free carrier, instead of this FOB over here. Okay, next. Done. Next is this. This is the important one. See here, which is this Incoterm? See here, what is it given over here? This is what? The seller. This is the buyer. Now we have to check the responsibility. He has shipped, put it over here along this part. What is this part? Where is the ship? Ship is over here. Has he loaded on the ship? No. So where has he kept it? FAS, Xworks, CIP and CPT. In fact, here, which is the nearest one to this, on the ship. He has come up to the ships here. This is the customs. Customs house is passed. This is the crane showed. So here the goods will be loaded on the ship also. This is loaded on the ship. So it comes which one? FOB or Xworks. Here definitely CIP, CPT is gone because we are dealing with ship. So C and D are gone, either A or B. Which one amongst these? Is it Xworks or FOB? Xworks means what? This is his factory. So it should come over here only. So here it is what? This he has brought up to the terminal or with the to the ship. So this is correct. Now everyone is typing A. Correct. A is the answer, FOB. Because this crane is loading it on the ship also. There is a Thai company which will import from USA first time. When the company imports from USA, which Incoterm consignee should propose to the shipper for their benefit? Their benefit means whose benefit? For their benefit. Their means here. Consignee means what? Who is the consignee in any shipments here? This is the seller and this is the buyer. Okay. Consignee means that person in whose name the goods go like this from year to year. Right, via ship goods, right? So here who will receive the goods? That person is known as consignee, right? You might be receiving these goods from Amazon. In that Amazon, if you look at the sticker of that Amazon, front part of that, you'll always see the name as consignee. Okay, consignee means receiver. Okay, and shipper means the person who is selling. So what should the consignee, which Incoterm should the consignee propose to the shipper? Okay, for their benefit. Their means what? Shipper's benefit. If the benefit is for the shipper, then which is the best thing for the shipper? Now everyone must be knowing this. A, B, C or D. A, B, C or D. Which one? Type fast. For shipper's benefit. Where is the exporter's maximum benefit? Right. Now everyone is typing this. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds more. You are confused between FOB and Xworks. Okay, many of you are got confused. A and B they are typing. So answer is Xworks. Basic, right? Best for shipper is always Xworks. What is the difference between CFR and CIF? I told you over there. CFR means what? Cost and freight. CIF means cost, insurance and freight. Now tell me, Again, I'll give you 10 seconds. CFR, no duty. CIF, shipper pays duty. Duty, is CIF for duty? CFR, shipper pays cost, means freight. CIF, shipper pays cost and freight. Okay, consignee pays. Okay. Consignee means buyer. Buyer pays for freight. Over here, no. Shipper sales. Seller pays, right? CFR, no insurance. CIF, shipper pays insurance. Is this something? Shipper takes risk. CIF, consignee takes risk. So which is the one? A, B, C or D? Definitely, okay, I'll give you a hint. Hint is between CFR and yeah, these two. Okay, these two. Hint is between these two. No insurance, insurance, and CFR, shipper takes risk, and here consignee takes risk. Either C or D. Which one? Type fast, type fast, type fast. Yes, yes, yes. We have to go. Half an hour only, right? So type fast. Is it D? No, it is correct now. C. E. C, right? C. I means what? Insurance. That's it. Okay. I covers insurance. Here no I. So therefore it's no insurance. Only cost and freight. Cost means manufacturing cost and freight means the shipping cost. Okay. What is the disadvantage of for the consignee in X works? Means disadvantage for the consignee. Consignee means what? Buyer. Generally, generally buyer. Okay. What is the disadvantage for buyer in X works? The consignor can control logistics. Does the consignor control logistics over here? X works means what? This is my factory. This is my gate. Now I put the goods over here. Now to hell with the goods. I don't care what happens to these goods. I got my money. Okay, I got my money, I put the goods over here. Now you load it on the truck or you don't load it on the truck. That's not my concern. On the gate, my responsibility is over. So does consignor or seller control logistics? No. He says, what have I to do with this logistics? I put it over here. The consignee does not have to pay logistics fees. Means consignee does not have in this X works. Who pays all the costs after this? These are paid by the buyer, right? Buyer means consignee. Okay. So consignee does not pay. So that is wrong. Consignee pays. The consignee has to take all the risks of logistics. That is also true. There is no disadvantage to the consignee. So that is false. So basically C is the answer, right? Because all the risk after this gate will be taken on by the buyer. Okay. Next. In CPT and CIP, where the responsibility of the risk does not move from shipper to consignee, means shipper means seller, seller to consignee, does move, not does not, does move, to consignee means buyer. Okay. CPT and CIP are used in what? Generally truck, okay, other than C. Okay. So where do the responsibility or risk shifts from seller to buyer? Cost, and PT means transportation. Okay. So the designated area at the export side, on the vessel of the export side, on the vessel of the import side out, on the designated area on the import side out, because here CPT and CIP are similar to that of what? CPT is similar to CFR, CIP is similar to CIF, right? So it's always on the exporter side, either A or B. Which one? Either A or B. Designated area at the export side or on the vessel of the export side. Yes, 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 yes. Type A or B. Type A or B fast. Yes. Now the answer is correct. A, B, sorry. Okay. When the goods are loaded, let's say this is the terminal or port. There is a ship over here. Okay. Ship. Okay. There is a water. So goods are loaded on the ship, that is called as FOB, and the ticket for that ship or the cost of that ship is bought. But the risk gets over here itself. Goods loaded, my risk over. I'll buy this ticket and over. Similarly for CIP also. This is CIP we are talking of. Instead of this ship, we'll call for this truck. Okay. Because generally in international trade we call for this shipping. That's why I went for this part. Okay. So this is a truck. So goods loaded in the truck, okay, and so once loaded, my responsibility as a seller gets over. Of course, I'll buy the ticket for this truck also, but that's only the ticket. It's not the responsibility. Okay. So it's on the vessel or at the exporter side. Next, which Incoterm does not exist in Incoterm 2020? Just now I told you while taking this lecture in the initial part, DDU, DAP, DPU and DDP. Just now I told you A, B, C or D. Again revise this lecture. Go back and check. A, B, C or D. Okay, I'll give you a hint. A and B only. Out of these two. A and B. C and D are out. Okay. So now type A or B. Fast. 5 seconds. Tick tick 1. Tick tick 2. Tick tick 3. Tick tick 4. Tick tick 5. So answer is correct. What is gone now? DDU is gone. It is not the part, does not exist. Okay. DAP is there. Earlier we had DAT also. So DAT has been now shifted from DAT to DAP. Okay. So now DDU is gone. Okay. That does not exist. Next. What's common between DAP and DDP? DAP delivery at place and DDP is delivery duty paid. The consignee DDP and DAP are on the all these D sides are always on the importer side. The consignee takes the responsibility of unloading the cargo. Is it the same? See here in DAP is it the case? DDP is the case. In fact DDP can also be without unloading. Means consignee means buyer. Okay. Buyer takes the responsibility of unloading the cargo. DAP and DDP, let's see. The shipper takes the responsibility of cargo unloading. This is definitely not the case because the exporter is not concerned at DAP. DAP means what? He'll just bring that truck at the place where it is mentioned and leave that truck. That's it. What happens to that truck? How do the goods get unloaded from there? That's not the concern of the seller. So B is definitely not there. The consignee pays duty and tax, but that is not true for DAP. DDP is paid. DDP everything is paid by the this consignee means buyer. Always don't get confused between buyer and seller. Okay, consignee means buyer. Buyer pays for duty and tax. So buyer pays for duty and tax in which one? In DAP he pays. DAP buyer pays. Buyer pays. But in DDP the customs and duties are paid by the seller. So this is not true. What is asked? Common thing. Both the things should be common. So customs duty is paid in both DAP and DDP by one party only? No. The shipper pays for duty and tax. Shipper means exporter. Does exporter pay for duty and tax? See, just now we saw this. The duty is paid by buyer over here and in DDP it's paid by the seller. So this is also out. So this is out, this is out, this is out. So only answer is this, unloading. The consignee takes the responsibility of unloading. Even in DAP, consignee takes the responsibility of unloading. In DDP also, consignee takes the responsibility of unloading. Means the truck comes and stands on the gate of that factory, whatever mentioned place is. Okay, and unloading from there into the factory is done by the buyer or consignee. Okay. What is the difference between DAP and DPU? DPU is out, so this question is not as important now. Okay, it's always DDP, you can call it then, or we can leave this, skip this question now. Where the responsibility of cost and risk does move from shipper to consignee in FOB. In FOB, where the responsibility moves from shipper means what? Seller. Okay, always remember these terms. Seller. Consignee means buyer. Means the risk moves from seller to buyer in FOB. Where? What do you mean by FOB? Goods are loaded over here on this ship, right? So at export side, CY is container yard, it's called as. Okay, it's not for you in CAIIB, it's generally for CDCS. Okay, so CY container yard. At import side, container import side totally out. Okay, because in FOB it's totally on the export side. So CY container yard, import side out. When the cargo is on the vessel at the export side, when the cargo is off the vessel on the import side again out. So B and C are out. Only now A and B. What at export side? Container yard. What is this container yard? It's not there for you actually, but I'll tell you. See this. This is to be loaded in the ship. I'll give you an example over here. See this. This is the this is sea and this is the ship. Okay. Now over here, when the seller brings the goods, there are two ways of putting those goods. He can directly put the goods on the ship, that's called as FOB, or there is a separate place, godown kept over here, that is called as container yard. Godown means container. You might be seeing those old Hindi films where the last fight between the hero and the villain, there are all the cargoes kept there. These vessels are kept over there, right? Containers are kept, and he jumps from one container to another. That is basically CY, container yard. Okay, so this is container yard. So in FOB, is anything related to container yard? No, FOB is related to what? Ship. So it is A or C. So answer is definitely C. When the cargo is on the vessel, cargo means what? Goods is on the vessel. They are put on the vessel. So here the responsibility of the seller ends and buyer starts. Okay. So that were the important questions to be taken. I'll again tell you, go for this crash course or selection batch which is coming up on June 6th. Okay. In this, like these questions and these case studies, I'll take almost 50 to 60 more case studies. Okay. So go for it as fast as possible. I'll tell you how to get the discount. It's that simple. See this. Go to Adda 24/7. I'll show you how to go over there. Let me see. Okay. Adda 24/7. Let me see if I'm having this slide over here. Hold on. Dollar. Okay. I'll show you over here only. Okay. Go to Adda 24/7 over here. Let me see. Yeah. In this. Yeah. Let's bring it over here. Over here. Go to Adda 24/7. If you are having that app, then it's easier. On the app, it's the best thing to do. But if you don't have the app, go to Adda 24/7, and on Adda 24/7, see here. Now it's loading. Once you come to Adda 24/7, you'll see the pages. Okay, you'll see this. Come down. Here you'll see all banking, insurance, JAIIB, CAIIB. In app you also get those advantage coins. Okay, so go for those coins also. I would always suggest you to go in app rather than going on the website. Okay, there you'll get an additional 1% advantage. Okay, go there. But here I'll show you. See this. Click on JAIIB, CAIIB. Click on CAIIB. Once you click on CAIIB, you'll get all these batches. Click on this selection batch. Okay, I'll show you these batches first. Okay, see, these are all the batches. Click on these batches first. Selection batch. Okay, see, the fees is 13,299. You'll say it's too heavy. Okay, go for it. See here, you read through all these details. These are same ones which I told you just now, that all the 35 plus hours of ABM, BFM, then mocks and ebooks, master revision classes, everything, videos available 24/7, everything same which I told you. Go through it again. View the offers. Once you view the offers, put the code. What is our code? Y432. Use this code. Put apply. Once you click on apply, you'll see this. 13,299 reduces to 2,659. What is this? 2,659 means roughly our increment after CAIIB is 1,300 on an average. Okay, plus or minus something over there. 13 to the 26. 2 months you recover everything. And once you recover this, everything else throughout your lifetime is yours only. Whatever increment you will be getting, right? So go for it. It's an investment for the lifetime. See you tomorrow with another topic. Also, see you in the live classes on June 6th. Join them.